Okay, so look, this story, it's trending everywhere, and at first, I read over it and thought it was nothing more than one of those weird conspiracies and it was just gonna blow over. But then it kept getting weirder. And then finally, I realized we're talking about Donald Trump here, and I wouldn't put it past this regime to give the President of the United States first access to a weight loss and energy output increasing drug and then deny the hell out of it. And with all of that said, I'm going to give you the conclusion right up front. I still don't think Donald Trump was the mystery 79-year-old man who got handed an experimental weight loss drug that no one else in this country is allowed to have. Mainly because we can see him. He hasn't lost weight. He hasn't gained energy. I mean, maybe since this drug is experimental, it just doesn't work, or the drug's good, but it can't perform miracles. Either way, I don't think Donald Trump's your guy there. The White House, though, it went characteristically into attack mode as soon as it heard about this rumor, saying, no, it wasn't President Trump, and you people are truly sick and deranged. My follow-up there would have been, so you're saying we have the same symptoms as the president? And look, the question was rather whether Donald Trump was that mystery 79-year-old getting that experimental weight loss drug. And the White House could have answered that with a simple no. Here's some of his records. Instead, they went with, you're sick and deranged, which, as we all know, is the calm and breezy way that an innocent person responds to a yes or no question. And the story came out first from Stat. Stat News broke it, and there's a drug called retatrutide, I think I got that right, and it came from Eli Lilly, and it's so powerful that it gets people surgery levels of weight loss, like a third of the body gone. And this drug, it's not approved yet. You can't buy it, it's still in trials, and there are millions of Americans who are genuinely, seriously obese and sick that are waiting in line for it. And there are people that are so desperate that they are buying the knockoffs off the internet and injecting themselves and praying. That is, except for one man. One 79-year-old man, 79 back in the spring, that walked straight to the front through a program that was called compassionate use. And that program exists only for people who are dying, and they've run out of every other option except, hey, we can use this experimental drug and try and make sure that see if it works. And a senior doctor at the National Institutes of Health signed off on compassionate use of this drug for this 79-year-old. And then that sign-off drew the interest of top health officials, which means someone important made some phone calls. And that's how this all happened. And that, to me, is the point here. Despite Trump, compassionate use, this program built for the dying, you essentially have one or no open slots, and that slot went to someone so obviously well connected. And if that is not a microcosm of the two different Americas that we're living in, I don't know what is. I mean, there's the line that you and I and your sick mom have to stand in, and then there's the valet that pulls the car around for the guy who knows the manager. Anyway, look, people naturally, they started looking at the description of this patient, 79 years old, massively connected, obese, low energy, approved by an agency that reports to the president. So Stat did the responsible thing. They asked the White House, hey, was this guy Trump? And that's when the White House came apart at the seams. The deputy press secretary said no application was ever submitted for the president. And when a reporter asked the obvious follow-up, does Trump even have the conditions that would be on that application? Sleep apnea, pulmonary hypertension, any of that. The spokesman pointed at Trump's last physical and said, the last physical covers all of this. We know damn well that his last physical didn't cover all of that. It made the president sound like he has the same health abilities of Deadpool. So no, his last physical did not cover all of this. What his physical said is that he's in excellent health with excellent cognitive performance. And look, for a man who swears he's a perfect physical specimen, Donald Trump has always been strangely paranoid about his own body. mean, this is a guy who's scared of stairs, scared of ramps, scared of shaking your germy hands. And during COVID, the same COVID he told you that you could just walk off or get the light inside the body, Donald Trump quietly got himself an experimental antibody cocktail that ordinary people couldn't get before it cleared trials. Sounds familiar. So a secret line jump for this unreleased miracle drug wouldn't be a stretch here. Donald Trump has literally done it before while denying it. And my favorite part, the part that makes this whole tantrum seem a little bit more genuine here. This drug deletes about a third of your body weight. So again, if Donald Trump did get it back in the spring 2-3 months ago, I've got some genuinely difficult news for Donald Trump. Because, and I would never say this about another human, I don't body shame, but Donnie, it's not working. It is definitely not working. You look puffy. You're huge. And whatever you're denying about that drug, I promise you that the bathroom mirror, it's telling the truth. But again, I gotta stress, if you forget Trump out of this story completely, keep in mind that someone got pulled to the front of a line meant for dying people just because of who they know. And the agency that did it won't explain themselves. They're not going to say who or why. That is the scandal here, no matter who the patient is. The point is the most connected people in this country get a better future, and you and I get a waiting list and a bill that we can't pay. So tell me in the comments, do you think Donald Trump was the mystery patient? I still don't.